Welcome to The Explainer. This is where we take articles, pitches, and all kinds of research and just break them down for you. So today we're going to deconstruct a marketing pitch for a digital business service to see exactly what they're selling and, more importantly, how they're selling it. So the service in question is called a profitableday.com. Now, just so we're clear, our goal here isn't to review it or tell you if it's good or bad. We're here to unpack the pitch itself, to look at the specific words and the exact argument they're making to people who might be thinking about signing up. Okay, so the pitch kicks off with a question that, if you run a business, you've probably asked yourself 1,000 times. In a world that is just so unbelievably crowded, how do you get anyone to notice you? It's a great hook because it immediately taps into a very real, very common pain point. And here's their answer right off the bat. The promise is to boost your digital footprint effortlessly. Now, you got to pay attention to those two words because they're doing all the heavy lifting in this pitch. Boost, that sounds powerful, right? It implies big results. And effortlessly, well, that's the magic word. It promises to take all that hard work right off your shoulders. Super compelling. So what is this thing really? It's interesting because they describe it in a couple of different ways. Let's dig into how they actually define what they're offering. So at its core, it's an online directory. Simple enough. But, and this is key, notice the language. It's not just a list of businesses. No. It's a collaborative community gateway. That language makes it sound much more dynamic, more about connection. And they're really careful to say it works with your existing website, so you don't feel like you have to replace anything. And this phrase right here is probably the most important piece of positioning in the entire pitch. Calling it your second website, that's just brilliant. It completely reframes the whole thing. It's no longer just a listing on their site. It's suddenly a valuable digital asset that you own. It's the difference between renting an apartment and owning a second home. It just feels different. Okay, so if it's my second website, how do I get it up and running? Let's take a look at the actual process they lay out for a new customer. And there it is again, that effortless idea. They promise a swift onboarding. They are hammering home this concept that this will not be another technical headache for a busy person to deal with. They're selling speed and simplicity. And check out just how simple they make this sound. Your part in all of this? It's basically one step. You just hand over your information, your details, your pictures, maybe some video clips. And then, step 2, their experts take over. And that's it. They handle everything else, all the enhancements, as they call it. It is the classic done-for-you model. All right, so you've signed up, you've handed over your info, their team has taken the wheel. What's the payoff? What do you actually get out of this? Let's break down the specific benefits they claim you'll receive and, of course, what it's going to cost. And they promise a whole buffet of outcomes. You've got the people stuff like meaningful referrals and fostering trust. Then you've got the more technical side of things, like a comprehensive showcase for your products and optimized exposure in search results and on social media. They try to wrap it all up with this big idea of sustained, quantifiable networking. So what's the damage? Well, they say it's a recurring monthly fee, but instead of just giving you a number, they use this clever little analogy. It costs about the expense of a coffee monthly. This is a classic marketing move. It's called anchoring. You frame your price against a small everyday thing, like a cup of coffee, to make your fee seem totally reasonable, almost insignificant. Of course, a pitch like this needs some kind of proof that it's legitimate, right? But what's really interesting here is they don't use the typical customer testimonials. Instead, they offer a different flavor of social proof to show that things are happening. Their proof is a running list of who just signed up. The source material gets super specific, pointing to companies that joined during the week ending July 25th, 2025, and even calls out one of them by name. The whole point of this is to create a sense of momentum, that feeling of, hey, all these other businesses are getting on board right now. It's FOMO, the fear of missing out. So let's just boil this all down. When you strip away the slick marketing language, the second website, the community gateway, all of it, what are you actually buying? At its core, this is a pitch for a managed directory listing. You're paying a team to do the work of making you more visible online. And this really leaves us with the big strategic question that a pitch like this brings up. For any brand out there today, is a curated, paid-for directory a genuinely powerful tool that helps new customers find you? Or is it just another layer of digital noise that people have to sift through? That's the real puzzle to think about here. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.